Welcome back to our truck camper workshop. Our makeshift work tent is now holding strong, so we're diving back into the renovations on our trusty old Mercedes.
That is reading 2 volts.
In this episode, we'll discover just how much rust damage is lurking beneath those layers of caked on mud and reveal our plan to restore this beauty to its former glory.
Okay, now let's go to A&E for all my broken fingers. Nice hat. So now we're finally back working on the chassis. There's some jobs that I'd quite like to get done. I want to take off this bumper. I want to take off the rear lights and the mounts that hold them and just kind of explore where all the wires and stuff go to see what I need to keep and see what we can get rid of. And there's also lots of like little brackets and stuff like this that we don't need. Stuff like this. They're all going to come off. So yeah, let's start with this rear bumper. Is going to go. To the pile. God, look how bashed up that is.
Are you going to try and restore this winchy man?
No, because I think under here is probably a really good place for like a water tank or something, you know?
But then stuff like this.
That's all part of the brake system, so that needs servicing. And so I'm just going to unmount the lights, take them off. I don't think we're going to use them, but I'm going to keep them as one piece because I don't want to just cut wires and then in 6 months try and remember which was the wire that goes to the brakes and the indicators and stuff. So I've got to figure out where these wires go. There's a big bundle back here. I don't know what that is. Don't know what. Oh. Okay. Okay, this grey wire goes to this thing. Let's figure out what that is. Yep, some sort of alarm. Almost certain that's not still working or wired in. I haven't seen anything inside. No fob or anything. Cool, one thing down. I have a feeling that they're not gonna wanna come off without a fight. Alrighty, one light off. To get a bit creative with that nut because we wanted to stay there. That light off, and then we'll get all these cables, follow them down. I think I'm going to take a quicker approach to this side. Hooray! These bits are coming off. Looking kind of different now. Hello. That's the bumper off, the light brackets off, and the lights off. So I've gone to take these brackets off and thought, okay, there's a nut on the other side. No nut on the other side. So they're some sort of rivet. So I'm not sure how to take them off. I guess just cut them with the angle grinder and see, I don't know. I had to muller it to get it off. But yeah, they're riveted on. And now there's these 2 stumps left on both sides. Cool, what? They are well in there, they are. I have a theory that this truck was once longer because it looks like it's been cut. Like that's not very square. Maybe this kind of cross bracing part has been hacked up. Should probably patch that up. So I've just finally wrestled with the bolts and got them out. I found that just managing to loosen them a little bit enough to get the angle grinder behind and just chop the head off was the fastest way. It's kind of in there pretty well. Owie! Ah! Okay, now let's go to A&E for all my broken fingers. I just want to get all these wires and the lights rolled up and just move down to the end of the truck. It's all just old zip ties, so it shouldn't be too tricky. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this chassis is going to look like. I like all of the truck, but specifically the chassis and all these parts, because then we can actually see what we're really working with, like what our foundation is. I really hope it's okay. I just don't want to cut anything important. Oh, it might have been too late. I might have already cut this bit. There is a really big wire that's just been like cut here. I don't know where it goes.
It's just cut? Oh no, it goes
where does
up
it
there.
go? Let's find out. So, if you don't know, if we haven't mentioned it, this truck wasn't always a horse box. Someone actually converted it from a normal box truck, I believe. And actually someone got in touch with us on Facebook and was like, I knew the guy that did the horse box conversion on your truck. And apparently the truck used to be called Tango. So that's why I think there's a bunch of random wires and stuff that don't belong. Yeah, there we go. Just a big old wire with a fuse in it.
It went to the battery?
No, it didn't go anywhere. So it was part of something once, but it's not now. That's a good bit of wire.
Spoken like a true hoarder.
Okay, I'll just leave this here so we know that this is a side light wire. Okay, right. That's all the wire exploring I'm going to do. Really cool.
I'm so sick of bringing stuff in and putting it on the floor, because the floor more often than not is wet because the rain comes in through the sides underneath. And this way we can keep our nice bag dry. We've got our fridge box for our lunch and it's like up and we can actually get. And then this box is going to be like a little tea making station. So you have to excuse all of the angle. I didn't want to buy anything to build it. I just used what we had left over from doing the sides of the marquee, and then all these angle parts. I think we took out the back of the truck.
Yeah.
I know it's not the prettiest, but it's strong, and I didn't want to spend like too much money on just making a little place to make tea. So these shelf brackets hinge up. These are a Pete's hoarding special. Then just a piece of OSB, didn't bother to cut it or anything, just put the length of it there, and then underneath I cut some of the leftover CLS to make it a bit stronger and just screwed that to the underside. Then had a couple of these extra chain plates from when we did the fence posts and tied the top to them, so I used that. Had an old strap that was in the shed at home. There are a few extra bits that I want to do to it. I want to cut this height down and make a bit of an angled piece, and then I'm going to make a lid to go over the top, so when we have like the kettle and stuff in there and our cups, if we're doing stuff on the truck that's really messy, we can close the lid and then our cups will stay clean. That's
You're having a good time.
I'm making our marquee a home.
Okay.
What's this?
I don't know. So the plan for today is we're going to clean the whole truck, get all the mud off it so we can like actually inspect it properly, because some places I can't tell if it's rusty and corroding or if it's just layers of mud and grime and stuff. So we brought the power washer with us, and we've got something that you guys recommended, which is traffic film remover.
Gloves.
Yeah, we're also going to take off the batteries and put them on charge, see if I can bring them back to life. Let's see if these batteries are even capable of coming back to life, because with lead acid sometimes if they go too low they're basically done. That is reading 2 volts.
Oh dear.
Out of 12. And this one, oh, this one's 10 volts.
Oh, interesting.
Might be able to bring that one back. This one, I very much doubt it. Well, can you get just like one 24-volt battery instead of two 12-volt ones? I'm sure there's some truckers that will let us know. Okay, I have to go and find where the tap is for this hose, because I don't know where it is. I'm going to go follow the hose.
Oh.
I think I missed the memo. I didn't know it was 90s skis fancy dress.
It's like wearing a big sleeping bag, and it's a waterproof.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to spray the whole thing with this traffic film remover, which was a tip from one of you guys. We're going to put it in one of these. We'll just spray over the whole chassis and then blast it with a pressure washer.
Ooh, scrubbing down the truck now, making sure it's shining bright. Gonna take this rig off grid, yeah, but first we'll get her looking right. Truck's gonna clean, truck wash, yeah, it's the start of our trucking dream. Working hard, getting clean at the truck wash, yeah. Truck's gonna clean, truck wash, yeah, it's the start of our trucking dream. Working hard, getting clean at the truck wash, yeah.
That was mucky.
I gotta wipe. I could do with a mirror.
We've uncovered like quite a lot, but nothing bad really, is it? We've got a lot of the chassis paint flaking away, especially around the holes in the bolt. So where there's a hole in the chassis, it's just moisture and stuff has just gotten under the paint. But it knocks off pretty easily. So that's like, yeah, that's not bad. And the same up here. A lot of paint, you know, bubbling off and stuff, but nothing really bad. This here, we had a few comments about it. We think that it's metal that's left over that was used to shim the subframe onto the chassis. So it's not the chassis delaminating, because the chassis is actually not thinner anywhere. Like you can see here, yeah, there's a big piece of metal that's been stuck on there and has been there for like 20 odd years, but
It's not
this is the thickness of the chassis everywhere. Like if you look down here where it's not corroded at all, it's the same thickness. So yeah, we're not worried about it. It's just going to knock off with angle grinder or the little needle gun thing.
What about when you get into all the fiddly areas, like around the
That's what
bolt?
the needle thing's for.
I
Or
see.
you can get a little bucket with shot blasting sand in it, and you just have a little shot blaster. You can just get in all the little areas and knock all the paint off and stuff.
What about stuff like this? Things where there's like these straps.
Yeah.
You still just grind them back and just paint them? So what about this?
Yeah, and there's also like stuff underneath that we can't get to. We might have to take the air tanks off. These are the air tanks for the brakes. We might have to take them off. I wonder if we take all the brake hoses and all the cables off all the way back to here. Because we got to service the brakes anyway and stuff. I just don't know anything about how to do it yet.
I think we need to take it apart as much as we can and like section off parts that we work on. Because if we try and do it all in one go, then it will just be left bare. We kind of need to do a bit, treat it, prime it, move on, don't we? What do people think? I like being this warm.
You look very cozy.
My ski suit.
I think I should get a matching one.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
So we've been chatting for like
What
half an
seems
hour.
like forever.
Because we've kind of reached the point where we don't really know what we're doing, because it's a 7.5 ton truck. It has air brakes and just everything's much bigger, and it's just all very new to us now. What we're going to do is we're going to work from the back, grind and treat as much of the chassis as possible, and when we reach difficult areas, and say we get to a bit like where the leaf springs attach, we don't want to stop what we're doing to then figure out how to take the leaf spring off and then wait for the part to come that we need to order. Say there's a bushing or something. We'll just order what we need to order and then come back to it. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's some overlap in paint or like primer or whatever, because otherwise we'll get to a certain point, have to stop and then potentially redo the bits that we've just done. It's either that or take everything off the chassis and then put it back on again, which I don't think we can do.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn pretty quickly how much time it takes to do an amount. So then when we come here to work on it, we'll know we have a set amount of time. We know what we can achieve in that amount of time.
I think we'll start, see what happens. Maybe that should be our mantra. Start and see.
Start and see. Just start.
Just start.
Just start, and
See
then
what
at least you
happens.
started.
There's just something about air tools that makes me very happy. So yeah, this air tool, this is like a, oh, that's not a shelf. It's an air chisel essentially, but it has this attachment which is like loads of little needles, and they all fire out in and out, and you use it just to like chisel away corrosion and rust and stuff. But you can also put in different chisel attachments like this, for example, and then so you know where those rivets were stuck in the steel in the frame, we could use this to like push those rivets that are stuck in the frame out. It's also really good for like pushing out old bushings and bearings and stuff. It's really cool. So first we're going to use this. It just goes on like that. Yeah.
Looks like a big hairdryer or something.
Nice head massager. Yeah.
The last head massage you'll ever have.
Great exfoliator. Oh, ho, ho. Cool. Should we try this first and then we'll compare it to the angle grinder? What about this sort of stuff around the holes? Okay, now we'll test it against an angle grinder with a 60 grit flappy paddle on. It's quicker for the surface stuff, but it did struggle a little bit with like getting this
Try it here,
bit off.
where it's already been needled.
Do you see how like it kind of still struggle to get in these bits?
Yeah, so I think it needs knocking off first.
I
with that,
do.
and then
I think you're
grinding.
right, yeah. Like there was something stuck there. It could grind it off, but I think you would also take off too much material around the outside of it. So it might be worth just knocking off all this crusty stuff on the top with this and then grinding it. Or there is another angle grinder attachment that we'll get, and it's basically knotted bits of wire on like a cup, and then that might be enough to do it all in one go. You might not need to use this apart from in difficult areas like these nuts and bolts, for example. Getting the rust off of these with an angle grinder is not really possible. So I think this is what we use for getting in all these little areas, possibly,
Flakies.
yeah, all these flaky bits, like down in areas like this, and basically anywhere we can't get into with an angle grinder.
Would you take this down further because it's like a bit pitted? or is this the part that we just treat?
This is what we treat with rust converter.
Okay, because I think you could still maybe do a tiny bit more, but yeah, it's quite dented.
Yeah. A wire wheel might get in there better. Yeah. Because otherwise you have to take off so much material, you'll be grinding for ages. There was one other thing. I want to try and punch these through with this. I want to put a chisel on and see if I can use it to punch those rivets that are stuck in the chassis out. They are in there so strong, that's crazy. Like, there was a bracket here that I've taken off, right? The way these rivets are installed is they have like a rod that goes on and then it's heated up like red hot, and then they have a hydraulic press thing that squeezes it on both sides, which makes that dome like you can see on this one here. So that was formed by a hydraulic press. So I'm guessing it's basically just kind of welded itself in there, because that's hitting it many times a second, and I've hit it with a sledgehammer, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it's just not, it's actually chewing through the steel. It's quite hard to... I got them to move a little bit, but we'll grind them flat. We'll go from there. We'll just start and then we'll figure it out. Is that what I was saying was? I've already forgotten. That worked really well.
Yeah, good for the big chunks.
Yeah, so that's what we use this for. The angle grinder finishes it either as a flappy paddle or a wire wheel.
It's time to finish off my little tea station. I'm gonna go for this shape.
That's good.
So that means there's gonna be like a little lip at the front. Nice
I
shape.
think that looks cool.
So I need to cut this one a little bit, and then there's going to be a strip along here just like fixed, and then there'll be this piece, you'll see on the top. These will be joined together with a nice piece of tarp that we have, like glued on, and it will kind of act as a hinge. So then this can flap up and it will flip over the top.
I know what it reminds me of, the shape.
What?
It's an old writing desk, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so next I need to sand this down and get the strip on there and then make my little door.
Oh, I hate these brackets so much. It takes so long to grind them off. I'm gonna now have a little break and remove this. This is what held up the spare wheel. I think it would have gone kind of around here. But yeah, this is coming off next. And then those brackets and those brackets and these brackets. That bolt head's rounded off. That bolt head's rounded off. That bolt head's rounded off. All of them. So I guess I just got to cut them all out. Hooray! I gouged it up a little bit, but it was really hard to get in there. That'll be fine. I'll smooth it off with the angle grinder. And then yeah, that bit's done. This one here, it's got some bolts on, so I'm going to try and remove it. Oh. Okay. This thing has now entered the ring. It's a twist knot bevel wired brush. That's how this does on the rusty chassis. That does a pretty good job. But nothing gets the chunks off like the chisel does. What are you doing?
I just finished my little kitchen box. It's a bit rubbish.
No.
I mean, it will do its job. Just.
I like the tent theme. You got a tent in the tent.
Well, we had leftover tarp. This was the tarp that wrapped up the tarp. It was the outer tarp. Yeah, it's just a bit. It's okay.
It's great. It's cool, and it has like a little rubber seam.
Yes, please don't look too closely.
It's cool. And you just use the tarp as a hinge.
Yeah. There's not really space for an actual hinge because this is only like 5mm ply.
Yeah.
It's just scrap stuff that we had, so.
Just using what we got.
Yeah, just don't pull on it too much and.
I'll be gentle with it. I think it's really cool. It's going to do its job, that's all that matters.
Thank
It
you.
didn't cost anything.
No, it didn't really.
Well, I am going to wash the cab. That's what I'd like to do.
I'll put our stuff in there. So we
When you
want to
had a
keep.
dry space to store things.
So, go in there.
Let's get soapy.
Okay.
Power washing, yeah. Blast that filth away. Power washing, yeah. We're gonna take it all the way. Power washing, yeah. Get in that dirt blasting vibe. Power washing, yeah. Look at that lighting. Subscribe. Truck's gonna clean. Truck wash, yeah. It's the start of our trucking dream. Working hard, getting clean at the truck wash, yeah. Truck wash, yeah. Blast that filth away. Truck wash, yeah. We're gonna take it all the way.
Very nice.
It looks much better. It's still very dirty, really. It looks shiny on camera because it's all wet, but when that dries, it's going to look bad. But it looks better than it did.
There's not a trace of horse left.
I think there might still be some horse hay in the air vents inside the dash. I just wanted to get something done today with a satisfying end.
Yeah, I understand that.
I hope this episode wasn't just like a random assortment of stuff. I'm not sure if we got anything really done, but I thought it was fun. So chances are, by the time you're watching this, we've either hit 10,000 subscribers or we're really close to hitting 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So we just want to say a massive thank you for everyone that's watched and commented and subscribed and joined our Patreon. It's been an amazing, like what, 4 or 5 months?
Yep.
Really, really incredible. So thank you all so much. If you do want to show any support, just watching is enough, but if you want to, you can leave a like or subscribe. And we have a free Patreon as well, where we kind of post some extra bits and kind of starting a bit of a community there and chatting and stuff. So if you're interested in coming along for that, check it out. Maybe we'll do something fun for our 10,000 subscriber celebration, maybe a live chat or something. That could be fun. Let us know what you'd like. We'll see you next week.